Well met, Rook.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dread Wolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solus and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solus spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait. How do you know exactly what we saw of Solus's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dread Wolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
The elven gods had access to magic beyond anything we can imagine?
To be sure, but it matters less what they possessed than what they were. You recall that the first elves were spirits, do you not? Mythal was a spirit turned elven, and when her body was struck down, to spirit she returned, her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew, until once again she was struck down, on this occasion by Solus. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
If your Mythal returned in Morrigan, we need your help with fighting the gods.
And here I am, as you may notice. But there is something I must make clear.
What? That was like how Elganon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you, then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
You would have met Solus in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time, I thought Solus a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon, or Solus?
The last time Mythal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solus?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right. So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
Wow. You woke up to a god floating over you.
'Twas a state between dream and wakefulness where strange things may happen to the spirit. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mythal's and of those who bore her.
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mythal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solus?
I should ask you. Mythal knew Solus better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf, were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solus and Mythal? I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
Solus has done terrible things. What he did to Varric, what he did to Mythal, what he would have done to the whole world. But it's not because he's just trying to rule the world. He's trying to fix things. He's helping us now.
'Tis true. His intentions were always pure, whatever his actions may have been. 'Tis not malice which made Solus your opponent, but conviction, a belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solus was once beloved of Mythal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face. You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so than either of you might realize.
Maybe there's a way we all get what we want.
Do you truly believe such a thing?
Well, maybe at least what we deserve.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solus recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
Another fragment of Mythal, in addition to the one inside you.
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many, formed when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
You make it sound like this piece of Mythal is going to attack me.
You know Solus, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years, She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Algernon and Gillenane, or against the Dread Wolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other.
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanurus, and then by Solus, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solus is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Algernon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
I only ask that you reflect upon what I have said. The Dreadwolf is not so apart from the world as he thinks. There, you have the advantage of him.
A god's fragment, sharper than the whole. Prevail, or be sundered completely.
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other fragment of Mythal was. That has to be her.
Do you believe she'll be willing to speak with us? Or are we bound for violence?
Guess we'll find out.
You are Rook. I have seen you and your companions. We made ourselves bodies to be like humans, but I never expected to see humans scurrying about in the Dread Wolf's crossroads. And you know who I am?
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanuris, if this can be called surviving. Solus. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down, but what is left of me can only survive here. I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Why are you here? To beg me to give up what remains of myself to help you defeat the monsters Elganan and Gillenane have become? Or do you simply think yourself ready to fight a god?
I came here to ask for your help. The gods have endangered the world and...
You dare explain to me what they are doing? You are 1,000 years from knowing the proper words.
We saw Solus's memories, his regrets.
You saw the recollection he cultivated like a tree, twisting to catch the sun. You wish for my help? Convince me. Make your case, and I will yield my essence willingly to help you against Elganan and Gillenane. Fail, and I shall kill you for wasting my time, or you will kill me and obtain my essence in doing so. A harder-edged, simpler version. It has been centuries since a petitioner stood before me, so why should I help you?
Solus is helping me.
Solus is using you. Besides, why should I esteem the Dreadwolf's approbation? He rebelled against me.
But the two of you stay close.
Until he killed the tattered fragment of me who hid inside the human swamp witch and wept. He keeps me here, yet has not visited since waking from his slumber. Tell me this. What should I have done when Solus turned against me after all we had been to one another?
I am so sorry, Mythal. To be betrayed and then brought back, and to have the one person who remembers you not be able to face you.
Enough! I do not want your pity. I do not need your pity! Your words are weak. Prove your worth or die.
Everyone get ready.
That's one big dragon.
Everyone get ready.
That's one big dragon.
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other fragment of Mythal was. That has to be her.
Fragment of... Mythal herself. We talking or fighting?
You are Rook. We made ourselves bodies to be like humans, but I never expected to see... And you know who I...
Mythal.
The part of me that... Solus. I cannot return. Why are you here? To beg me to give... Or do you simply think...
I came here to ask.
You dare explain to me what they are doing?
We saw Solus's memories.
You saw. You wish for... Make your... Fail, and I shall kill... It has been sent...
I am worthy of your help.
That is for me to judge.
I am fighting to protect this world.
Any petty tyrant can fight those who come to their land and claim to be protecting their people. I have seen rulers, human as you are, the mages of Tevinter, following in the Elven Empire's footsteps. They build nothing that does not serve them. Why should I believe you are any better? What is a protector to you?
It's making a place that's safe for everyone. That means defending against danger. But it also means building a strong community that works together for the common good.
And what have you built?
Look at my team. We're not just hired blades. We started as strangers and grew together into a family.
Not bad, but not enough. Let us speak of something else.
If I don't stop the gods, the whole world will be corrupted by the Blight.
That is why you must succeed, so tell me why I must help you.
We know the truth about the Blight. We know it came from the imprisoned dreams of the Titans after you and Solus defeated them.
And?
If I don't stop the Blight, a lot of people are going to die.
People have been dying without the help of the Blight for thousands of years.
You know what I mean. The Elven people worshipped you as their protector.
If you wish to prove your worth, you must do better than that.
You can't want Elganon and Gillenay to rule the world. Not after what they did to you.
I ruled alongside them for centuries. I bear them no love now, and they were ever flawed, as all rulers are. Yet the world needs rulers. So set the Blight aside and tell me why I should help you topple them.
How am I supposed to just set the Blight aside?
By making an argument not related to it, as I asked you to.
The Blight is a core part of who they are. And I don't think you're in favor of it.
My patience wears thin. Choose your next words carefully. Why must I give myself over to you?
Solus is helping me.
Solus is using you. Besides, why should I esteem the Dreadwolf's approbation? He rebelled against me.
But the two of you stay close.
Until he killed the tattered fragment of me who hid inside the human swamp witch and wept. He keeps me here, yet has not visited since waking from his slumber. Tell me this. What should I have done when Solus turned against me after all we had been to one another?
Maybe you should have listened when he warned you about staying on as rulers after the war.
Are you saying I was wrong?
You asked me what you should have done. I can't prove my worth by lying to you. Solus didn't want to manifest a physical body or destroy the Titans. He did things he hated because he cared about you. Supporting you and Elganon becoming rulers was the one line he wouldn't cross. If someone who followed you everywhere refused to follow you there, what does that say?
Your arguments are compelling. I find you worthy, Rook. I have spent thousands of years watching. I shall miss that. But if what I am can protect the innocent and smite the guilty, this is what remains of me. I give it to you freely. Use it to protect this world with kindness when possible and cunning when necessary.
I will. Thank you. The essence of a god.
A lady's favor.
Like a piece of the sun. I've never felt something so alive.
Well done. But we must find a purpose for this wonder.
The god knows her moment. At least her essence does. When the time comes, we'll be ready. We did it. We got Mythal's essence.
And it didn't turn into a fight.
Not sure what we do with it just yet, but if Morrigan's telling the truth, it'll come in handy at some point.